Hello everyone and welcome back to another Tactic Tuesday. So, we have a very awesome tactic for you guys today, the Regista Ballista. Now this one can do some amazing things, like win Aston Villa the domestic double, Barcelona a domestic treble, or even make Heidenheim into a Champions League level side. So, if you guys want to see all of that, understand how this thing works, and even use it for yourselves to pull off some incredible overachievements, feel free to keep watching. Alright guys, so it's time to chat about the tactical outlay of this system. As you guys know, it is a 4-1-4-1 system. So one of the interesting things about it is, one I think is how it came about from just looking around interesting stuff, but one of the big things that I was looking to do in creating this system is talking and looking about wide triangles, how to create a system of having a group of three constantly having passing options and creating a shape that looks really nice. So I'll show you what the idea of the shape is, mainly to have these three players always having a triangle of some sort. And the way I want to create it was having the wingback be the guy that goes wide, the winger coming in, and the attacking midfielder going outside. So it then inverts to look like this. So you have happen almost is that you have all these guys kind of coming inside and him here, and it looks like this shape instead, where you've had the players go in weird spots, which make it kind of odd. Obviously, they're going to be a little further over out wide, I'd say, so they're more over kind of in the corners like this. These guys through the middle. This guy up here, kind of this shape here, like these three little triangles out on the wing there is what I was looking to create. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this. So you have these triangles here out wide. Oops. Obviously I'm not perfect with this. A little crappy there. But those are the triangles I want to create. Have those shapes of triangles created with the fullback, the center mid, and the winger. And that's the idea. But I wanted to do it in a way that would make it difficult to mark and difficult to adjust to, because you have players running in different areas and different angles. And I didn't want it to be a basic thing of, oh, the winger tucks inside, the center mid drifts up, the wingback overlaps, you then have it the basic triangle, everyone has it, everyone does the same thing. Now I wanted to make it different, make it interesting, make something special about it, and that's what I felt I got from this system, was because you have these wide playmakers, and one of the big things they're encouraged to is they dribble more, they sit narrower, and they also roam around. So they're going to come inside, they're going to roam a little more, they're going to take the ball and dribble. And with the Metzalas as well, is that you've guys that are going to get further forward, they're going to move wider, they're going to roam into wide areas. You create this system where you in essence have guys that are looking to, as the inverted guy, drift into kind of these areas, like kind of this space here. This guy's looking to drift in kind of these areas along here. So they're in the similar spaces. And then you have this guy taking up the wide channel. So in essence, what I've done is that, I'll fix this here, is that we now have it where there's you have these channels, obviously, right? So we'll draw kind of some channel lines here. So these are kind of the channels that you have. What I've done in that is that we have the 9 and we have our striker and the Regista in the central channels. We have the wingback in the wide channels. And now we have these guys both in this kind of same channel here, and they're kind of paired up together. So they can be whatever order. This is more just sticking people in those spots. So it's kind of set up like this, where this is where you have it. And thing is that the 8 is going to drift in between the central and the wide channel. So he's going to be going to go in between those two. And the winger is going to drift between these two channels. So in essence, you have it where you have guys that are going between these two channels here like this. Not obviously in these shapes, but you've guys that are going to go in between each channel, making them roam around, drift through in different shapes that create it really difficult to mark and really difficult to take care of and deal with them. And it's going to create stuff where you have one of them is wide, coming inside and scoring from scoring in the central area here. Maybe he pops up here and scores, or maybe this guy pops up here out wide and crosses into the striker who scores, or these two combine for an overlap or a cutback to him who's on the top of the box and he plays it in. So the point is that you have a lot of roaming, a lot of movement, and a lot of freedom to create and move in different ways that makes it really difficult to deal with people. And that's the whole point of this. Now, ideally what I want to see happen, so say we're in the final third here, the shape that I'm hoping to see in the final third is going to look like this, right? Similar to this, the 8 is going to kind of shift into this space, and these guys are going to kind of come to around here. And I know these are the wingers, but I want them to be inside because I want them kind of be more playmaking role, and these guys can drift wide. And I want to kind of have this like horseshoe thing. The Regista has a lot of space. He has to cover, in essence, let's draw a circle. The Regista's got a lot of room to have to deal with. He's going to have to deal with a lot of this space here, but this is kind of the idea, is that's kind of the shape you want with the wingers inside and these guys out wide. And that's what I'm looking for, is I want the wingers to be in this space so they can receive it here, turn and score. Whereas these guys are around the edge of the box, kind of this area here, looking to assist more than anything else, same as the wide midfielders. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously, they can shoot as well. Both these guys can kind of interchange where they are. But it's just something that I'm looking to do in terms of how they play, is how we're kind of looking to have that set up. And that's what I'm looking for in that sense of it. Now, I think it's probably better that we start off from the beginning of this, just make it kind of clear in how the team needs to play. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about the expected passing shape here we're looking for. That's kind of like the little glimpse of just the understanding of what I was going for with this and how it's supposed to be looking as a system and as a tactic. And I feel like that was a little jumbled, but we'll make this a little better to kind of talk about and explain and make you nice and clean and lovely for you guys. So the intended passing shape is going to hopefully be something kind of like this. So we don't need that. We just need lines now. These guys are just going to drop in here. So you kind of want to have them almost as a line of 3. These guys here, he's tucked in a little more. Oops. Like that. The Regista's up in this space here. These guys are up over like this, and this guy's here. So the thing we want is kind of this shape here, where there's a triangle of 3 out wide. Right? Then we want them to have the passing option of the center back and the center mid, the defensive mid, who's the Regista. And have that pass on there. And that's kind of what we're looking for here. And then the other passes are these triangles here from the center mids to the striker. We don't need to worry about these guys, the wingers going into the striker there. That's not the one we want. Because if they're going to play into the striker, obviously we are pressing high, but if they're going to play in the striker, who would make a run like this, then it would be time for these guys to do that, make that pass, or something like that, along those lines. That would be the time for that. Not as much. But this is kind of the intended passing shape that we're looking for with this team. That's what we want to see. We want to have the wingbacks giving us the major width. These guys really close and tight together, near the wingback, creating that triangle where they can play each other around. And the goal is, obviously, here is to play that around. We'll change to a red. So that the wingback can get down the line here. So these guys, we want them to get down the line here. We want the passing to occur between these guys here so that they can play a pass. We'll just have the arrow. They can, I don't know, we'll stick with the lines. But so they can play a pass. So here, say one of these guys has it, but their pass goes here, out wide. Same thing over there. We want one of these two to have the ball and their pass goes wide out here, because then once that happens, we can do a little more work and we can transition everyone forwards. We don't want it to be that there's like some these guys try to, no, we want to try to get it wide to the wingback so we're overlapping, and we want to try to congest this middle area with more people so that they clump in, there's space out wide, boom, we can go out wide and they can carry the ball forwards. Then you have that shape we were talking about more in the attacking half. Let's remove the balls, which we want to have it look a little more like this. These guys in these more central areas here. Doesn't matter which order they're in, but we want them to be more centralized. The wing backs out wide here, the center backs kind of up, the Regista in this big space. And we want it to be a little more like that, so that obviously we have our triangle here for defending. and recycling is these are obviously the triangle we want to see here. That's what we want to have for that backline to help recycle possession. The other big thing we want to have is obviously these guys out wide here, because we want to have this passing lane as well. So this is the passing lane we want for these guys. So that's kind of the shape we want to see. That's what we want there. And then these guys are all moving around. Now, the striker himself is going to occupy this area here in the box. That's what I'm looking for. I want him to occupy that space, this area. That's all he needs to do. We don't need him to go anywhere else. We don't need him to do anything else special. It's just this little pocket here. These guys have free roam to roam and squiggle and move. The two of them, just all in these spaces here. Because then, what we can have is obviously, the line. He has a direct pass here. This guy can cross into the middle, there, like this. They can cross in, excuse my weird lines, they can cross in like that. But in the end, these guys are able to free roam in those areas. So they kind of have a free reign of movement in this space here. This is kind of their spot, their area. Didn't mean to move that. This is kind of their area. So these guys can roam in these spots here. And that's kind of the point of this, is they have free roam. They can move wherever. They can stay wherever. The striker's stationary in that bit. And that's kind of the shape we're looking for in the attacking half. They have freedom of movement there. They can move where they want, shift where they want. The wingbacks out wide offering width. We can cross into the striker. The Regista is looking to pass into these guys. He looks to pass into that central little group of teams. He can pass into here. He can pass into here. He can pass in here. He can pass in here. Even these guys can go direct into here, right? They can all go into these areas. Striker can lay it off. He's on the top of the box. He can lay it off into those areas. But they all can lay it off into that group where these guys are running around, finding pockets of space, finding areas where they can create and make stuff happen. And that's kind of the goal of it, is the striker's there to lay it off. The Regista's there to recycle and get things moving again. And that's kind of their goal, with these guys being the main important players in possession. The right mid, the left mid, and the two center mids are the most important players in this system, and that's what they're looking to do when in possession. They have this whole area here in the attacking half and looking to create from those spots, and that's what we want to see. Now, the team is also set up with an incredibly high line, incredibly aggressive counter press, because, to me, it's a fucking shit show when we lose the ball. It's not going to be like a fun, hey, you can press here, there's no fun pressure structure. It's a lot of a mess. So what you have to hope for is these guys have run around like lunatics, right? So they're kind of all jumbled up wherever they are. We'll just say they're kind of near each other like this. You have to hope that when we lose the ball, they are going to lose the ball in the middle, right? You're going to hopefully lose the ball somewhere in this zone. We'll just stick this guy here. We're hoping we lose the ball in this kind of central area right here. This is kind of where we want to look to lose it when we do in the attacking half. That's what we're hoping. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that can all counter press effectively and get it back really quick and attack the ball. And they have nowhere to go. If we lose it out wide in kind of like these spaces here, we'll take this away. We are absolutely fucked in these areas. So there's obviously a lot of concern. So you need to really emphasize the ball getting to these areas and these pockets out wide up here and out wide up here. Because if this pass is intercepted, you're royally fucked. There is no way you're recovering from either of those two passes. This pass intercepted, screwed. These, not as much, but this is screwed. So you have to make sure the ball gets into the central area quick, because if not, you're really screwed defensively to deal with things. And that's kind of how that stuff is going to work in terms of the way it's set up. The team is set up to do work and do those things. I'm going to show some clips now of some goals, some possession, and some other stuff like that, because I want to show you guys that. But that's mainly the tactical outlay, how it's going to set up, how it's going to work, and how things are going to go as the team continues on and moves forward throughout the pitch and the attacking half and all that stuff. So this field goal is a great example of how getting the ball wide, getting into those wide areas, and having the freedom of movement of those wide midfielder, the center midfielder, is so important to scoring these goals. So if you see here, Villa are in possession. They have it in the back. We can remember that shape I was talking about before, having those guys in those wide areas. So we got Zaniolo, Moreno, and McGinn out wide here. We have Diaby also, who's the striker, but he's just pushed over. We have Tielemans as well, but you can kind of see that three is clumped together. We have our two center mids, we have two center backs, and the Regista here. So Luis gets it. Gets it out to Zaniolo. He's looking again, but see now, you see there's that 3, right? Obviously it's with Diaby, but 1, 2, 3. There's that wide triangle we were talking about. You'll see the wide triangle in effect here. Look, see? Look at that. 1, 2, 3. It's right there with the Regista coming over to support. But see, when we're talking about that wide triangle is there. We can use Diaby in the middle here, and we can transition it wide. Tielemans, you saw he was in that space. He's able to find a pocket. Him and Bailey right next to each other. As I said, those two guys are clumped together, creating that space. But look, we can zoom out to, say, a different view. So we'll go data analyst view. Look at the space right here for Cash is in. They've tucked in so tight, they've pulled all the players in. Look at the space Cash is in to make this movement now. Tielemans finds Cash out wide. Now look, Bailey makes a movement inside. He's inside. He's got space. Cash goes, you know what? I'll pass into you. Bailey's in behind the defense and finds the finish. See what I'm talking about there? We had that wide triangle that works really well up in that area. It clustered everyone over. Then we had the two combining of Tielemans and Bailey really close to each other, pulling defenders. Boom, they go wide to Cash, who is in miles of space. He drives down the line. One of those guys finds the pocket behind the center back. Boom, played in and scored. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about in terms of an example of a goal, and it perfectly fits it. Here's another clip I wanted to show of this is how defending in the system turns into a goal. So we can go to the data analyst view again just to show you guys. So as you see here, we're narrow. We have Cash and Digne out wide. But so Moreno's inside. Moreno is the center, there's the left mid here. But you look at the center players, right? So we have all these guys in this central area right here. So they're all clustered in the middle as I was talking about. So we see here, Ruddy gets the ball. We're putting pressure on. Bailey's pressing long here, which is good. Now look, he goes in the middle. Look, I remember how I said we want the ball to go in the middle. If it goes wide, we're screwed. See, if he went wide, look at the space Buchanan's in. But he's gone in the middle. We've already got pressure from Tielemans. Zaniolo's covering off this pass. He can only go back to long or back to Ruddy. He goes to Ruddy, who again doesn't look to go wide. But look at the space out wide here for them. They don't notice it. And they go short again. Look, we have pressure. Great from Moreno. He doesn't let him go wide here. He forces him back inside. Session goes back to Ruddy again. Now look, now if they try to go wide, we have pressure. We can play them wide. Moreno's covering off. Long's going to go long over here, which hopefully gets picked off by McGinn if he tries it. He's going to turn a look inside. Plays in the middle. Well, guess what? We want them to play in the middle, and it's worked perfectly. Douglas Luiz snags it off Miyoshi. Great job. He can find Bailey in that pocket of space, that channel. Remember we talked about this channel right here? Those players finding space in the channel? Finds it, crosses it in, Tielemans fires in near post. That's another example of how the pressing of it works, how those things we want to make sure that we don't let them go back into the middle, and that stuff like that. It's so, so important to make sure we have those things going and have that structure, because we can't let them get out wide. You saw several times how I showed you, there was tons of spaces in those areas out wide that would really have hurt us if they got into them. But because we're able to force them through pressing, proper runs, arcing of runs when it comes to the pressing, we're able to stop them from getting into those wide areas and sticking them in the middle where there's so much pressure they can only play every pass under pressure or go backwards, which was exactly what we wanted to see, and it worked so perfectly there. Here's another perfect example of the pressing being in the middle and being so important to this team. If they got it wide, they would have hurt us. So, again, this is the big thing here. So they start in short. They go to the player here. Look, he's already going. Rafinha's already pressing to cut off this ball out wide. Forces it inside again. Beautiful. Look, Felix should be going right now. He's a little late, but you know he still cuts off the pass there. But look at this. We're ready. We have guys covering Herrera here and Martin. They see the chance. Oh, they've gone to Martin. Guess what? Pressure, baby. His only option is back again. He tries. Guess what? Lewandowski picks his pocket. Felix to Lewandowski. Boom. Goal. Another great example of the pressing. If they're in the middle, we got them. It destroys you if you go through the middle. They cannot stop us when we go through the middle. When they go through the middle. It's so well designed to stop it that it kills it. So here is one of the final clips. I just wanted to show you a little bit about talking about how we had when the ball is wide, you can look for those cutbacks this time instead of the other time we saw with the cross for Villa. You can see this time it's going to be more about the the finding there is. So remember I talked about those triangles out wide? You can see it here. There's that triangle of the guys clustered together. So we've got it here. Alonso's got it out wide. He's got the two guys. Partially loses it, but Balde gets it back. Now there was that triangle created. It's into Lewandowski. He's got Alonso out wide. Alonso can make the run. He's the wing back. Comes out wide. But remember I told you about these guys always looking to roam? Balde's the left mid. Romeo's the left center mid. Roaming to find space. You see it there from Romeo, though? Sorry, wrong thing. Look at this. So he made that run, right? It didn't work out. So watch Romeo right here. Watch this guy right here. He drops off into space. Now look at the space he's in. Massive amount of space. But look where Balde's running. Into the space that he just was in. Alonso cuts it back. Romeo one touch into Balde. Turn. Finish. That's exactly what this does. Movement in the spaces, not original players supposed to be in the spots, and it's perfect. And it works lovely. And that's what it is. But it honestly is some of the amazing stuff. The combination play is fantastic. The triangles out wide, so good. But hope you guys like the tactical analysis and some of this stuff. We're going to get into how the teams did, how they performed, and just the insaneness of how well they played with this tactic. All right, guys. So as you've seen now, after our chat, talking about the team and seeing some clips of how this team plays, it's pretty sweet. I really enjoy it. Kind of the way it works and all that stuff like that. It was a really cool idea. I mainly came up with it from doing the like the special roles, and the outcome is awesome. And just trying to fit in some neat roles, and it worked perfectly. But there it is, as you guys see. Same one is used for all three clubs. And so yeah, I figure we'll talk through it a little bit and discuss how the teams did and what where their kind of best players were and stuff like that. One of the big things you can see for Heidenheim, the team itself was expected to finish in. Oops, sorry, I meant to hit club info. 17th, so second bottom down there, and they finished in 4th, 1 point off of 3rd place. As you can see here, they had the 3rd best attack and 5th best defense, so incredible in both those areas. The team itself was just insane. The expected position was even 3rd place. They're expected to be even better according to the expected tables, which is awesome to see. So you can really get a good idea. Like, you can even see where the ball was lost most of the time, but you can just even see here, high scoring, high non-expected non-penalty, strong defending, clinical shooting. You can see a lot of those key things, even in defending. Not many blocks or clearances, poor tackling, but even fewer tackles, impenetrable and quiet. Don't always win the ball back, but when they do, they're reliable in possession. Really, really important things that are really, really useful when it comes to a team. So, just exceptional. Even, oh, oops, sorry, let me go back to that. I don't know, there's some weird visual glitch with it. But as you guys can see, lots of the key passes coming from those areas over there. Central shots inside the box. Not the fanciest pass map, but as that was talked about, you have your clusters on each side. So you have your 3-man clusters, which we're looking for in this tactics, creating those triangles with those 3 players, the Metzala, the wingback, as well as the wide midfielder. Those are being created there. With you generally want your striker and Regista kind of be in this middle area here, which they're not as much. But it's not the greatest one. It's more heavily focused on the left-hand side of this, but you can kind of get an idea. If we look at, say, maybe the one against Leipzig, this was ours. It's a lot better here, as you can see. The triangles are much better on these sides. Like, those 3 are all clumped together there, and these 2 guys through the middle. So you can see a little more of what we're looking for from that pass map in these scenarios like this. So just a little more like that and stuff. But that's kind of what it's more we want to see. Maybe we can see it against Darmstadt as well. But yeah, like, this is much better. This is a lot nicer to see. So you can kind of see the triangle created here, how that works with these guys. Here, like this area here. Just look. Don't think about that bit. I'll have this here so you can't see. But that chunk right there is exceptional. This bit is what we're totally looking for when this is set up and how we want to see it. That's a lot more of what I want to see from the pass map, how it's supposed to look, and what we really want to see from the game, which is really perfect for that. Okay, this is a great example of how it should look. It's brilliant. So that's what we're looking for a lot in that, and you can see it's worked perfectly there and created that setup. That's what we are looking for in that group, and you can see how well it's come across in that scenario there. This game, they just were so heavily down the left, it just really got skewed. But yeah, I mean the team is exceptional. Knocked out in the semifinals as well, and they finished in the Champions League spot. So it worked so well for these guys. It was just fantastic. It worked really well for a team that even had to do a lot of defending and stuff like that. But it was truly incredible. You even look at some of the stats for your key goal scorers are your 9, as well as one of your guys who played on the wing. I believe he was the left mid. Yeah, he played at the left mid spot, so left playmaker role. He was there. Then your center mid actually catching in with a few, but did he play on the right? No, he played through the middle. And then you also had the guy who played on the right, and then you had your fullbacks as well. So yes, it's definitely like kind of mixing the goals around, but the main two guys were the left mid and that. As you can see, this team focusing down the left a lot. But then Beck, who plays the Regista, I believe. No, he was in the middle. Who's the Regista? This guy here. He only had 4 assists, but some good assists coming from the guys in the middle, which we are looking for. So and then the wingbacks. They're the main assisters, is who you want to see. So that's good to see. And the striker, yeah. Honestly, they're the main guys that I want assisting. They're the ones that are laying off and helping create things, because the Metzalas are the one that you want to see scoring the goals, as well as the striker. So it worked really well in that favor in terms of what I was looking for, which is great to see. So you can see those guys scoring and getting the goals that you want as well. But yeah, that's kind of the stats for Heidenheim and how they worked. You can see definitely there in terms of that stuff, the pass map's really on point. So on to Villa next. As I said, domestic double for Villa, 7-point lead. They won it by 91 points in the Premier League they picked up. They were the winners in the FA Cup, quarterfinals knockout in the Europe Conference League, and third round by Arsenal. But how about that? I mean, incredible from Villa in what they did. I don't know why that keeps doing that. But their last game, you can see, similar enough. They were heavily clustered to one side in this game, so it led to a cluster of a pass map there. But again, a lot of the key passes coming from those crossed areas out wide, and then the shots all from these heavily areas in the center, which is what we're looking for. Against Luton, they just have match momentum. Guys, can we... All right, they don't have anything else. That's annoying. But we can see that all that stuff here, like how well it's worked and how important it was for us. Even some of the results, they had some crazy good results at times, like draw against, but they beat Luton 5-0. They did lose to Arsenal in that, but they dominated. They beat United 6-2. They beat Arsenal, which is pretty impressive. They had some other kind of crazy ones. Yeah, they beat City, Chelsea, and Tottenham in a stretch there, which is crazy. Burnley 5-1, Bournemouth 4-0. They beat Liverpool. They beat Tottenham, obviously. They did the double over City as well. Nearly did the double over Chelsea, did the double over Tottenham, beat Arsenal 5-1. As you can see, I mean, they smashed Sheffield United 2 games in a row, 5-0 and 5-1. So they did really, really well. I mean, they lost 4-0 Fiorentina, which is an unfortunate collapse. But you can see they really took on the big guys and did well against the big teams, too. It wasn't just like a poor against, like, really did incredible against the small guys, really good against the big guys. So it worked really well for them. They did exceptional in those levels. And if we look at the guys that scored most of the goals, this one was actually Diaby. He did play up top of it, but he mainly played off the right, scoring more of the goals. And then McGinn, you had scoring through the middle, which is more of what I'd expect compared to the Heidenheim one. But he also had Watkins scoring a lot as well. And Kamara picking up with 14 goals, and he mainly from the center midfield role, but still exceptional. Tielemans, center midfield role as well. And then Pau Torres picking up 11 goals from set pieces, which is mental to think. But Cash, McGinn, and Louise, so you can see here, Digne, the wing-backs getting lots of assists, as well as the center mids, which is kind of what we're looking for. But even on top of that, the Regista, which is doing really great, which is fantastic that he got so many of them. Then we did get a few from playing the midfield center role. This team didn't have as much as a certified Regista. They swapped a little bit more, but you can definitely see where the assists came from. I mean, the team also scored so many goals. If we do look here, 99 goals scored. They're the best and the third best defense in the league. So just unreal in terms of this team. They were so good. They were unstoppable, really. They were just incredible, and you can really see why. And then finally, Barcelona, the domestic treble, 96 points in the league, winners of the Copa del Rey, winners of the Super Cup. They did get knocked out by Marseille, which is unfortunate, but you can see just how amazing they were. They had 84 goals, which was the second best in the league, but only conceded 20 goals all season. How crazy is that? Only 20 all season. You can see, obviously, they were expected first. Last match here, they had 1-1 draw, but again, we can even see, where is it? Mallorca, this would be us, right? No, this is us. But you can even see just the same thing, the triangles that we want to see over there. These guys are a little more closer than I want, but you can always see the idea of what I was saying in terms of it. It's just all match momentum? No. Past match against Madrid. But you can see, like, a lot more. There's the system. We want the triangle. There's the triangle. That's a smaller one, and these guys through the middle. So, again, you can see the shape. It's exactly what we want to see and how we're looking to find stuff in the system. So, I mean, it's worked really, really well, and I'm really happy with it. I couldn't be happier with how the system came out. The pass map shows you exactly what we're looking for in terms of that stuff. I just couldn't be happier. This has come out incredible. This tactic is better than I could have ever imagined. If we look at the top scores again for these guys, it was Lewandowski, 38 goals from that striker position, 14 assists as well. Rafinha picking up assists from the wing, as well as Balde, who was on the left back, as well as did play up at times as well as a midfield left position. But again, the wing back getting a lot of the assist. Obviously, they're going to be overlapping. They're going to be looking to get those crosses into that striker, as well as the center mids who are going to score. And then guys, when it came to the goals, Pedri and Gavi as well, picking up a ton of goals. So really working out beautifully and perfect. I mean, you look at the assists, winger, fullback, striker. So they're all the guys we're expecting to get the assists. Obviously, slightly different for each team. Who's picked up the main assist, who's not. But it's just been incredible. The team has been so good. It's just ridiculous. I mean, how many goals? It's insane the amount of goals. 84 goals scored here, but 20 conceded defensively, just on another level. When it came to this, I mean, even when we look at the data hub, they're expected first, did better than expected, just incredible as a team. So how can you complain when they've been so good? I mean, if we look at some of the results, they were immaculate to start the season. It took them until here to lose their first game, and besides that, I mean, they only lost to Real Madrid 3-0 here in El Clasico, which does suck. And they did lose in the semifinal, but they beat them for the other time as well. Weirdly enough, they couldn't beat Marseille. Odd one. I don't understand, but yeah, they lost just so few games. They drew so few as well. They were just winning everything. It was just incredible. They were honestly just amazing. And it really shows you how well it worked with some of the better teams. And it's also true, it just shows you how well it works with every level of team. There is no level of team this doesn't work with. It's an incredible tactic, and it's just amazing. So, getting into the tactic and how it's set up itself. So it is a 4-1-4-1. So 4 defenders, 1 DM, 2 right mid, left mid as 2 center mids, and then a deep lying forward as a striker. So that's your 4-1-4-1. Is a positive mentality. Now, for the player roles, you have a sweeper keeper on attack with just tackle harder on. A wingback on attack on the right with cross more often, dribble more, run wide with ball, sit narrower, tackle harder, cross from byline, and get forward are automatically on it. The one on the left side is the exact same, so right and left wingbacks exactly the same. Your 2 ball-playing defenders who are on defend are both on tackle harder, who are in the middle. Your DM, who is a regista, who is on tackle harder and mark tighter. Then your wide playmaker on attack on the right has tackle harder, and the one on the left also just has tackle harder. The Metzalas in the middle are on shoot less often, tackle harder, and mark tighter, so those 2 are on. And then finally, your striker, who's a deep lying forward on support, is just shoot less often. So not a lot of player instructions this time around. A lot less than normal for me. I tend to have so many. But your in-possession team instructions are fairly narrow, shorter passing directness, higher tempo, low crosses, and work the ball into the box. In transition, the team looks to counter-press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the center backs, and rolling it out to the center backs as well. And then the team, in terms of defending, is high press line of engagement, much higher defensive line, stepping up more, a much more often trigger press, and you're also preventing short goalkeeper distribution. Now, that's the tactic. Those are how the teams did. I hope you guys are really excited to test this one out, because I think is absolutely fantastic. And I hope you guys are just ready to use it and destroy some friends, make them go, what the hell is this tactic? So I hope you guys are excited to get your hands on it, test this out, and see how you guys do. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy this tactic video. I know this is like kind of a bizarre one. Not many people use a 4-1-4-1. Not many people use wide playmakers. Not many use registas. And that's what I love about it. It is totally different from anything else I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a tactic like this. and it's been fucking amazing, this tactic. So I love it so much. It's awesome. I'm yet to use it in a save because I don't know, I'm weird. I hate using tactics that I make in other things. I like making a new tactic every time I have a new team, so I'm like terrible with that. So I haven't used it in a save yet, but I know I really want to at some point. I might use it in something personal. I have some other stuff going, but it's awesome, and I really hope you guys do like it. If you do want to see more tactics, though, especially with the new series out we have coming out on Thursday with tactics, which are going to be recreating real-life tactics, we're starting off with my home country, MLS's latest Cup champions, Columbus Crew. We have a tactic coming out on that on Thursday, which is recreating their system and just the tactic that we've designed for it, and to show you the tests that we ran 3 individual tests on Columbus. So that's the one difference with that series will be that series will focus on that one team, and we'll run 3 separate tests with that tactic for that one team compared to 3 different teams. So you'll see the recreation of that team's performance because it'll be focused on one team. These will be broad tactics focused on everyone. So hope you guys are interested in that. I know I'm looking forward to that series, so please drop the suggestions down in the comments below. Keep going with terms of if you want just anything. I'm happy to keep making them. I love doing it. We have this viewer suggestion Thursdays. If there's no viewer suggestions for that week, I'll do a real life teams tactic again. But I love it so far. Keep heading up me with those. I really adore it. My list right here of all the ones that I have to keep going on. It's so much fun. I'm loving making tactics for you guys this year. So keep them rolling. But if you guys do want to check out more, remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more tactics, and check out the playlist at the end of this video for all the prior tactics so you can find whatever you guys need there. We have 4-back, 3-back, 5-back, defensive, attacking, high pressing. We're getting everything out now. There's so many different kinds. You guys are able to find whatever you need. Yeah, really almost everything you could ever ask for tactically. There's so much different stuff coming out now. We're almost at like 10 or 12 tactics at this point, so there's going to be a lot to choose from. So feel free to keep downloading and keep going at them. And check out the Steam store, where I have my own Steam community hub, where I have my own stuff as well if you're downloading it there. But if not on console, I'm sorry for you guys. You can't access that easily, but watch the videos. All the info's there. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to catch you guys in the next tactic video.